Okay, so this is matrices on a calculator. You should have written these things down right here. Okay, they're right there on the board, and we are fixing to get started. So keep up, guys. Don't talk, especially when we're videoing, because it's distracting to people that are trying to watch the video. All right, so we're fixing to get started. We're going to try to do this in about 15, 20 minutes, so you can have the rest of the time to work your worksheets. Okay, so number one, we're going to add matrix A and matrix B. That's what we're going to do, okay? So in our calculator, everybody got your calculator? Okay, so here's my calculator, all right? I'm going to show you how to put a matrix in your calculator. There are two ways. I'm going to do it the first way. Well, obviously I'm going to do it the first way first, and then I'll do it the second way second. Guess what? So I'll show you this way first. I like this way the best, but the other way is very convenient sometimes, okay? So this way is going to be best when someone just tells you A's this, B's this, C's this, D's this, and E's this. Remember your worksheet?
Yeah.
And then it said do all these things to them. This is an awesome way to do it, okay? So first of all, you see this matrix button on your calculator right here? Okay, so we're going to go second and matrix. All right, we're going to edit our matrix. So go over to edit first. All right, hang on just a second. I'm going to stop. I'm going to. Okay, I was trying to see if I could maybe clear mine all out. See, they're already in there. So I'm going to go second in matrix. I'm going to go over to edit. And I'm going to choose matrix A. What size is matrix A? It was a 2 by 2. Okay? If you didn't see it, I'll see if I can put it up there. There's matrix A right there. So I'm going to go 2, enter, 2, enter. And then it makes a 2 by 2 matrix on my calculator. Are you with me? All right. Look, you don't have to write all these directions down. Okay, because I promise you'll know them, I promise. So I'm making you practice enough, you'll know them. So my first row, you go by rows when you put them in there, is 1, -3. So I go 1, enter, -3, enter. Look what it does, it pops me back down on the second row. And I go 4, 6, 4, enter, 6, enter. Now, I'm in the edit mode, so look, every time you put one in there, you go and you make sure it's right. 1, -3, 4, 6. Look, if you put A in there wrong, every time you use A, what happens?
It's wrong.
You miss the problem. Do you understand that? That's huge, people. Okay? That's going to be bad. So you go and check it every time you do it. Now go second and quit. Now you put matrix B in there. You put matrix B in there. Okay, so you should have gone second in matrix. Go over. Some of you learned this, that you have to go over to edit first and then choose your matrix, right? I always choose my matrix first and then I go over to edit and it pops back up to A and I'm like, dang. But I just forget. It's okay, it's not a big deal. So I go over to edit. If that's the worst thing that happens to me in my life, I'll be a lucky girl. So then I went down to B. He is also a 2 by 2. My first row is -4, 7. And my second row is 6, 8. So then I check it, -4, 7, 6, 8, yes, second and quit. Now we're going to put C in. If I want to go down to C, I can just press 3. You can arrow down if you like to punch buttons, but if you're in a hurry, you can just press 3 and it will choose C. Okay. What is C?
It's 2 by 4.
Yeah, he's a 2 by 4. Okay? My first row is 2, 3, 5, -1. My second row is 6, -8, 14, and 42. Do I care how big and mean and nasty these numbers are? No, people, I'm not doing it. The calculator's doing it. Okay? So now I'm going to go second and quit. Anytime you're in the edit mode and you're finished editing, then you should quit. Alright? So, I'm going to move these off. We're fixing to do A plus B. So here's what you do. Second in matrix. Choose matrix A. Plus, second in matrix, and you choose B. I'm going to press a 2, but you could go down. And there's my answer.
All this time. Wait, how? That's all we had to do.
That's what the heck?
How'd you do that?
-3. I said in second in matrix, and I chose A, plus second in matrix, and I chose B.
That's crazy.
You're gonna make me cry, Miss Ayers.
Okay? Y'all, is that not what 6th graders say? I mean, you were taught in kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd grade to add and subtract. So when they gave you a calculator, were you like, what? Oh my gosh, you mean, why are we learning how to do this? No, you didn't do that. You were like, well, I might not always have a calculator. Okay? So, you know how to do it without one. All right, here's yours. You do this one. Number 2, B minus A. Go. You have less than 1 minute. B minus A, less than 1 minute.
Okay, go.
Is this what you got? -5, 10, 2, 2. -5, 10, 2, 2. All right, anybody got a question? Okay, here's your next one. Let's be fast. A plus C.
Well,
All right, so here's what some of you did. Some of you said, what? And then you wrote the answer down. Some of you said, matrix A plus matrix
She got me.
C. And then you said, what? What in the world? Now, if you're on one of my school calculators, they're not like these new fancy light up ones. And it says dim mismatch. It means dimensions mismatch. So what's wrong here? What's my answer? Not possible. And the reason, because I told you you had to write the reason when it wasn't possible, is what?
because they're not the same size.
They're not the same size. Okay? Not the same size. In order to add and subtract, you have to be the same size. Does everybody understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. Let's do this one. Let's do number 4 is A times C. Okay? Remember how hard it was to multiply? You would go, well, this is a blah, 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 and this is a blah, blah, blah. Can I multiply them? What do I get? Draw your lines. Across and down, across and down, across and down. Now you just go second in matrix A times second in matrix C. Boom! And there's my answer. Now y'all's looks a little different than mine. Y'all's has an arrow. Do you see the arrow to the right? He's telling you there's more stuff off the screen. You need to arrow over there and find it. Okay? So my answer is -16, 27, -37, -127. 44, -36. That should be lined up a little better. 104 and 248. Okay? What kind of grades should you be making on this test?
100.
Yes, yes, please. Okay, so here's your next one. Are you ready? CB. CB.
What?
What? What's that mean? C times B. Does it matter about the order that I multiply them in?
Yes.
Oh, most definitely on a matrix. They're not commutative. Uh-oh,
Yep,
uh-oh.
that's my
Matrix
fault.
C times matrix B. Oh, so what's my answer?
No, not possible.
Not possible. And the reason would be
Because
Number of
row,
rows is
number of,
Columns.
It's the second number in the first and the first number in the second. Number of columns
So you can do
It's
B.
in the first does not equal the number of rows in the second. Can I say that the columns in the first don't equal the rows in the second? No, because the columns and rows don't have to be equal. The number of columns and number of rows has to be equal. Do you understand the difference? The other one says that column has to be the same numbers as those other rows. Okay, the same elements. And it's not. All right, so everybody okay so far? Okay, so let's do this one. 2/3 times A. I'm going to do this one with you just for the sake of time because I want to teach you something. Okay? So, first of all, I'm going to do 2/3 I'm not going to use my fraction button. I'm just going to go 2/3 because that's normally what I do anyway. And then I'm going to say times second in matrix, and I'm going to choose A. So now, whoa. Is that the kind of answers I want? No, we don't want any decimals, okay? We don't want decimals. So we're gonna go, I do it this way, math. Look at the very first thing that's up there, fraction. Look what he's saying. Hey lady, you wanna turn those answers into a fraction? Yes, do. And so what is my answer? Math, and the very first thing. So 2/3, -2, and what is that? 8/3? 4.
We're basically.
Okay, now let me show you what happens if you use the fraction button. Anytime you use the fraction button, it gives you fractions. In equations, I don't like that because our improper fractions easy to graph on a graph. No, they're not. That's why I don't use the fraction button all the time. Because if I'm graphing, I don't want a bunch of improper fractions because then I got to turn it into a mixed number. Okay? But watch what happens if you choose alpha and F1 is the fraction button. And if I put 2/3 and then say times matrix A, then it gives me my answer in fractions. Okay? So if you use the fraction button, he said you gave me fractions, I'll give you fractions. If you don't use the fraction button, he'll give you decimals and you'll convert. Anybody got a question? Okay, so this next thing that you're gonna have to do, number 7, is called an inverse matrix. It's written like this, b to the -1. He's called an inverse matrix. Normally, I do this in class and show the kids how to do it, but we didn't do it this year. So the very first thing is in order for a matrix to have an inverse matrix, it must be square. So we're talking about what? 3x3s, 4x4s, 2x2s, okay? And I'm going to tell you first how to do it, all right? And then I'll show you how to do it on the calculator, okay? So to find an inverse matrix, first you find the value, like we're going to do this guy. First you're going to find the value of the determinant. That's down when you're multiplying people, okay? Some people did not know that. Yep, on the test yesterday, some people were going -3 plus 14 minus 10 plus 4. Yeah, see, you are looking at me like, what? I know, that's why I was looking at their paper like, where were you during class? Okay?
Addition or multiplication?
No, they were adding and subtracting. When they went down, and then they said minus up, but they added and subtracted those numbers. No, people, it's times. So it's down minus up. That's the value of determinant, right? And then you put that number over. You put that number under 1, you take its reciprocal, okay? So you're going to go 1 over that number and put it out front. And then you're going to switch these two numbers places and change these two numbers signs, okay? And distribute that little fraction guy. Are you going to get pretty numbers? No, you're not. They're going to be a bunch of fractions, okay? Now let me show you how to do it on a calculator, okay? So on a calculator, we're going to do b to the -1. So I'm going to go second in matrix. I'm going to choose B. Does anybody see where I can raise something to the -1 power?
The arrow.
No. Look at this guy right here.
Oh.
Okay? This guy. He's a reciprocal button is what he's called. Because that's what he does. That's what when you put 1 over something, it takes its reciprocal. So you can press the X to the -1 button, and guess what? He's going to find, whoa. What do we need to do?
Converted.
math,
Correction.
fraction, enter.
Touchdown.
So there are my answers. Do you see them? Are they pretty?
Is it?
Well, not really, but
Prettier.
we like them. They're prettier than I
They're pretty
think.
good.
Oh my word. Negative 4/37, 7 74s, 3 37s, and 2 37s. Okay? Sorry, I had to move it to do it. All right. So anybody got a question? Here's yours to do. I'm just going to give you about a minute. Not even a minute. C to the minus 1. Uh-oh.
Jump from square.
Oh, it's
Oh.
Why do you keep doing
What?
that?
It's
What?
not
It's not square, okay? It's not square. So when you go second in matrix and you choose C, and then you go to the minus 1, y'all, is your calculator gonna steer you wrong? He's not. He's saying, hey, lady, that's not possible, okay? It's not possible. Invalid dimensions. Why? Can you write invalid dimensions, not possible invalid dimensions?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh.
That means you don't know, okay? So why is it not possible?
It's not square.
It's not a square matrix. Very good. It has to be, look, see, we wrote that down. It must be a square matrix in order to have an inverse. Okay? It must be a square matrix in order to have an inverse. All right, so here's the deal, guys. Can you put matrices in your calculator?
Yes.
Can you add them?
Yes.
Subtract them?
Yes.
Multiply them? Multiply them by a scalar
Yes.
and find their inverse.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a big number out, that's a number like we did.
Like you
Rah,
did.
rah, rah, rah.
Like
Where is
a
he?
little bit.
Distribution?
Right here,
Okay.
yes, 2/3 times 8, that's a scalar, a number outside of a matrices that's simply distributed throughout the matrix, okay? All right, so here's the last thing that we have to learn how to do. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 problems, okay? We're gonna do them fast. They're systems of equations, so. I have to be the worst number in the world. Okay, all right, so number 9. Number 9 looks like this one. It is the one on the board, but the people on YouTube can't see it, so we'll write it over again. 2x minus 3y equals 14, and negative 7x. Do I care how nasty these numbers are in this thing? No, because I'm not doing it, people. The calculator is. Okay, negative 7x plus 49y is equal to 796. Now, would you want to use augmented matrices on this guy?
No.
But the calculator's going to, okay? He's going to put it in this form right here, where these are my numbers that represent x and y. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember what that form is called?
Reduce.
Echelon. Echelon. Reduced row echelon form. Okay? Reduced row echelon form. Is it called row echelon form?
No,
Is
it's-
it called reduced echelon form?
No.
No, it is reduced row echelon form. This is what your calculators, you know he's not writing out all that math.
It's a rep.
Yeah, no, but it's not ref, it's ref,
Told you.
okay? It is ref. Now, why am I saying it like that? Because guys, that is in your calculator also. Don't choose REF, it's REF, okay? It is ref, not just ref. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this matrix in our calculator, and then we're gonna REF it, all right? We're gonna REF it, and it's gonna pop the answers out for me, okay? So, I'm gonna do it first, this is the second way that you can enter matrices on a calculator, okay? Sometimes it's gonna be beneficial to do, it's always beneficial to know more than one way, okay? So this way is gonna be more convenient than the other way in this instance, okay? So, these little F3 buttons up here, this one's my fraction button. This one, alpha and F2. This one allows me to do absolute value, it's derivatives, summations, which they struck out because this is a I don't know, sixth grade calculator or something. They let you change a log base, they let you do the x root of anything, and all that kind of stuff, okay? This is a factorial, we don't do some of that stuff. All right, so, we're gonna go alpha and F3. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't do alpha, I did second. Alpha and, stop, what am I doing? Alpha and F3, thank you. I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was pressing alpha, was I not? I don't know. This is weird. Okay, alpha and F3. So here's the deal. Now look, if you're on this kind of calculator, which I didn't use because they don't show up very well on my screen, then this is what you got, right? Okay, and you see that little box? You just move it and tell it how many rows and how many columns, and then you go down here and click OK. And then don't touch it until I tell you to, or you'll mess it up. Okay? Now this one, it took Montana to show me how to do it. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't move up and down on my rows. Because the box is on OK, so you have to go up. Okay? Obviously when I put this in a matrix, it's going to be a what? How many rows? 2 rows. Yes, and a 2 by 3. The first row will be 2, -3, 14. Don't put anything in there yet. Okay, so it's already on a 2, so I'll go over here and tell it to be on a 3, and then I'll go down here and say, okay, and he pops me out a matrix. Do not put stuff in your matrix yet. I promise you'll mess it up, okay? So, the other matrix, the other way, you put numbers and enter, numbers and enter. Do you agree?
Yes.
This one, do not touch the enter key. If you touch the enter key, it'll pop you out of the matrix.
Oh.
So I always have to put my finger on the right arrow key because my finger wants to hit the enter key. So I put my finger right here when I'm doing one like this to keep that from happening. My top row is 2, -3, 14, 2, right arrow, -3, right arrow, 14, right arrow. Notice he takes me all the way back down here to the second row. -7, right arrow, 49, right arrow, 796, right arrow. Okay, now I messed up. Okay, I purposely messed up because you're going to do it too. Because you get so set on wanting to work these problems that you forget to tell it to RF this matrix. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I'm going to go back. Notice I'm on the bottom row. You could just keep pressing the back arrow, but I'm going to cheat and go up to the top. And then I'm going to go back until I'm on the line. Okay? On the line says I can put something in front. I can insert something in front of that matrix. You see that insert button? Second and delete is the insert button. Second and insert. Now this is what I should have done first. The next time we'll do it first, and I'll show you how you should do it. Okay? So I'm going to go to, I want to RF this thing. This is what I'm looking for right here in my calculator. Okay? So I'm going to go second and matrix. We're going to math this dude, so go over there to math. You can go down, but it's faster to go up, okay, because it's at the very bottom. So go up. Do you see ref?
Yes.
There he is. Don't pick ref, okay? Don't pick the REF. You have to pick the RREF. So you choose it, and it'll put it in front of the matrix,
Oh.
okay?
Wait, where are you?
So now I'm going to RF this matrix. Questions? Yeah, you can enter. Now, what do I want to do with it?
Fraction.
Fraction. Math, fraction, enter. So, what is my answer? And I want it written as a point. On this next test, if you don't write it as a point, I take points away from you. You cannot afford those points. So, what is it? 3074 over 77, comma, 1690 over 77. That's where these two lines intersect. Does anybody have a question? Is everybody okay? Guess what that calculator just did? He augmented that matrix. Look at it. 1, 0, answer. 0, 1, answer. Well, he's fast, wasn't he? Faster than some of y'all. All right. Now, here we go. Here's yours. Number 10. Okay? I know you're not going to believe this, but I made this problem up. Just wait till you find the answer. 3x plus 2y minus z equals 12. The second equation, 4x minus y plus z equals 13. The last equation, x plus 3y minus c equals 1. Okay? Find me the solution, guys. I'll give you 1 minute.
Oh my gosh.
Find me the solution. Make sure you put it in there correctly. How many people forgot to put the RF first?
Oh.
I always do. And that's why I showed y'all that, so that you don't go, dang, and then you start all over again. We don't have time to start all over again. But actually what you should do is go second in matrix, go over to math, go check your RF first, then do your matrix. Anybody press enter accidentally?
Oh, I don't know how to start this.
Yes.
Oh, that's fancy.
Did you get pretty answers?
Heck yeah.
Who would have thought I could have made up one that had pretty answers? Okay, so I am going to go back and check and make sure I put it in right. So 3, 2, negative 1, 12, 4, negative 1, 1, 13, 1, 3, negative 1, 1. So RF 10, look at that. So 4, negative 3, negative 6, and that's the way I want it written. All right, anybody got a question? Are y'all all okay? I'm going kind of fast, all right, but I want you to have some time. All right, so 2 more. These are weirdos. You know you always got to have some weirdos in the bunch, okay? So here's the first weirdo. Negative 4x plus 7y equals 6, and 8x minus 14y equals 12. So weirdos kind of keep us on our toes, all right? So we're going to start. Tell me what to do first.
Okay. Do your ref.
Yeah, do your RF first, y'all. It's always easier just to do it first, okay? So I'm going to go second in matrix, go over to some math, and go up and choose RF. All right, now I'm going to make my matrix. So I'm going to go alpha and F3. This guy is going to be a 2 by 3. Now I'll keep my hands off of the enter button, and I will be on the right arrow key. So negative 4, 7, 6, 8, negative 14, 12. All right, are you with me? Okay, so I'm going to press enter. All right, yeah. Do you automatically go, uh-oh, whoa, wait.
I do some work.
Yes, because y'all look, we know that it's supposed to look like this with numbers right here, and these are supposed to be 1s and 0s and 0s and 1s. What? I don't have that, okay? So let me tell you what the first row says. The first row, remember these are my x's and these are my y's. So the first row says 1x minus 1.75y equals 0. Okay, it could, right? We don't know. But look what the second row says. The second row says 0x's plus 0y's. What is 0x's plus 0y's going to be equal to? 0. What do they say it's equal to? 1. So what they're telling me is that 0 is equal to 1. Is that true or false? So what's my answer?
No solution.
No solution. These are parallel lines, people. That's what they are. Inconsistent.
Oh, they are.
Okay? All right, let's do number 12. Are you with me? Here's number 12. You see, now look, if it's no solution or if it's this next guy, you're going to spot it, okay? It's not like you're going to go, oh man, that snuck up on me. No, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like, okay? So the last one is this, 2x minus 8y equals 13, and negative 6x plus 24y equals negative 39. All right, so you put that in your calculator. you augment it and get me a reduced row echelon form. Could that be another way to say the directions? Yep, and some of y'all would be like, what? Okay, so there's mine, all right? I'm going to press enter, okay? I don't really care what the first row says because I don't know if it's true or not, okay? But look at the second row. There are no ones. It's saying 0x plus 0y equals 0. So essentially, he's saying 0 equals 0. Do you agree? Is that true or false?
True.
That's true. So these are two lines, and where do they lie?
They're the same line.
They are the same line. They are consistent and dependent. They are the same line. So what is my solution? My solution is, a lot of times people will say all real numbers. I don't like that because it's not all real numbers. It's any point, I like it said like this, any point that lies on the line, and I could choose either one of these lines and it would be okay, but I'm choosing the line that they tell me. Tell me what this right here represents. What is the line? 1x
Oh, minus 4.
minus 4y equals 6.5. Okay, anybody got a question? Okay, so I want to show you one other thing before we quit. I'm going to help you do one of your problems on your worksheet, and then we'll be. I'll pass out your worksheets and let you work on it. Okay, but I want to show you how cool this thing is. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. All right? Okay, so this is the worksheet that you're fixing to do. One thing I need to clarify. Do you see this problem right here? If you put this problem in just like it is, obviously you're going to put A, B, C, D, and E in your calculator, store them like we did, and then you're just doing all this mess. This is the only one that presents a problem. Your calculator does not understand that a C, this matrix beside a parentheses, means to multiply. So what am I going to have to do? You're going to have to put a time sign right there. If you don't, it'll say not possible. And it is possible, it's just that he didn't know what to do. He didn't understand that. Okay? So on that one right there, you'll have to put a times. Let's do number 9 right here. Can you see that? Let me make it bigger. Okay, I'll refocus it, and we're going to work that problem. Okay? So, here's what I want you to do. Take your calculator. My calculator now won't fit on the screen. Are you okay with that? Okay, so I'm going to clear my screen off. I'm going to do exactly what it tells me to do. I'm going to say 6. Open the parentheses. 2/3. How am I going to put it in there? I'm going to use my fraction button. Why? Because it'll give me fractions. So why not? Like, I just kill that bird right now. So second, it's alpha and y equals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll choose number 1. And I'll go 2/3. And then get out. Now I want to put this matrix in there. How do I do that? Yeah, times, and then go alpha and F3. What size is it?
3 by 2.
3 by 2. 3 by 2. Keep your hand off the enter key, guys. So, my first row is 2, 3, 6, -5. -1, 0. Go out. Now what do I put?
plus.
plus, I want another fraction. 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom, times, I need to be another matrix. Still a 3 by 2, right? So, keep your fingers away from the enter button. -4, 2, 3, 0, 1, -8. Boom! There's my answer.
Yeah.
Approve.
Okay?
I'm writing.
All right. Anybody got a question?
Golly.
Are y'all good with this? All right. So let me pass these worksheets out. Okay.
How do you know what you all that?
The ones that I put them on the board. There they are. 13, 14, and 13. Because you know your teacher doesn't know how to number stuff. Okay. So on the bottom of this paper right here, on the bottom of this paper that I'm passing out, it has 13, 14, and then another 13. So I want you just to cross those out. I don't care if you write these on the back, but I want your answers written on the front so I don't have to flip your paper over. Everybody got it? Mm-hmm. Okay.